So how can we put AI into practice? We've been focused on LLMs, generative AI, and so this is where we're going to spend most of our time, and where we get most of the value out of AI. And so we've talked about these three general buckets of content, from thinking to communications to data assessment. And so we want to talk about some examples. So we'll give you some real world examples, but I want you to make sure that whenever you're using AI, these are documents that I think you should have. And they're very places when you're going to use them. So if you have something that has your mission, vision, values, you need that as a PDF document. Your brand guide. If you have a marketing strategy as a document, you need to have that. Your social media strategy. If you have an ideal customer profile, you want to have that. If you are wanting it to write for you, you need a document that you have copied and pasted large amounts of your own writing. If you want this to do emails for you, you need a document that has a whole bunch of your emails that you've written. If you're wanting it to learn how you write newsletters or blog posts, you need a document that has examples of all of that kind of writing. Okay? Because what you want to provide the AI model with, in terms of that context window, is you want to provide that AI model with examples of what is correct. How you write, what is your tone, what is your voice, what are the ways you do. And the way you can do that easily without having to copy and paste and make this massive long prompt is you have the ability inside the ChatGPT or Gemini to upload a document. And so depending on the prompt, and depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you may upload 1, 2, 3, 4 of these documents as part of the context window for that chat. Okay? So I have all of these saved in Google Drive, and then my ChatGPT and Gemini, because I use both, are connected to my Google Drive. And so when I'm ready to do a prompt, I'll be, okay, I need to add that document and that document to this prompt. All right? So it makes it easy for me just to add them without having to upload them every time. But you want to make sure you have these documents that are already containing the information. That way the AI is going to do it in a way that is correct with your business and who you are. So here's an example for some image generation. We work with a company called Pinion Brands. Bob Herndon in the back there. Wave to everyone, Bob. There you go. Mr. Sophisticated man in the back. We work for Pinion. We do some of their marketing for them. And we were in need for some materials to run for our holiday ads. Well, you could go into a photo shoot, but we didn't have a photo shoot time. We didn't have the time, effort, energy to do a photo shoot, so we used AI. So here's the prompt we used, and we had this picture from one of our products. And so we put this prompt in here and said, I want you to create a woman smiling, holding a box of Christmas wrap with this pinion. So this is the prompt we used, and we uploaded this image as the reference source. And when we did this in Gemini, which Gemini, Nano Banana, best image generation tool out there right now. If you're not using Nano Banana in Gemini, you're missing out. People will fight me on it, and I will win. So Gemini is the best right now. Now tomorrow, it could be ChatGPT or somebody else, but right now, Gemini is winning this battle on image generation. And so it generated that image for me. That's not bad. Yes? Does it even beat Midjourney? I think it does. I love Midjourney, and I have an account with Midjourney, and I use it. But Gemini and Nano Banana, those weird little artifactings, when we were trying to get something that looks like a photo, even with Midjourney, you go, something's not quite right. Not all the time, but with this, I have been like, that's spot on. So I was like, okay, so now I have an image that I can use for social. So we posted this on social. We used it as an ad for our campaign that we were doing. But then I said, you know, what would be cool is if this was a video. So then I used this prompt. And I said, I want the woman who's giving a present to her husband. This was the prompt. And I want her to say, I saw this and thought of you. All right, so I did that. And then I sent that through VO3, which is part of Gemini. And it did this.
I saw this and thought of you.
All AI, The video, the animation, the music, the sound effects. All I did is put the prompt in. I uploaded that image into VO3 and said, I want this video to do this thing. And so we used that video on ads that we ran in November leading up to our holiday sale, and it converted. It wasn't our best converting ad, but it was a converting ad for us. It's still running, right? So I took a text, created an image, took that image back, used another prompt, created a video for image generation. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. No. That person doesn't exist. Well, that's a good question. Looks somewhat familiar, right? But this was all AI generated, using Gemini, Nano Banana, with just a text prompt. I gave it a text prompt and a photo that I wanted to use the shirt, and that's the input, and that's the output. Yes, sir.
Is that Gemini 3?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
What about copyright things? Will it say I can't do that with certain images or certain...
No, I've tried to do some stuff with Darth Vader and Star Wars because they're kind of my favorite, and they go, that violates our copyright laws. That violates our copyright things. But you can kind of get stuff that's similar, that's close enough that will work. Like for our school, they did Lion King Jr., and to pay for all of the backgrounds for Lion King was pretty expensive. And so I went into Gemini. Actually, I did this in ChatGPT, and I did a prompt for it, and I told it I want it to look like Pixar, and I want it to do this, I want it to look this type, and I want it to look like an African safari in the middle of the day, and they were fantastic. So depends on how you prompt it, it'll go, that's a copyright violation. So you do have to be careful. But image generation is so how you can do this, if you run any kind of business that you would want a photo shoot for, image generation can do the photo shoot for you. So like if you do product lines, or if you just want to have some people in your graphics and you don't want to go to get stock photo, because stock photography looks like stock photography, you know, kind of like, that's not real. I mean, it's real, but it's not like, that would never happen. Then you can use this to create stock photography that you can put on your website or put on social, right? So image generation is a fantastic tool. If you're doing a product line and you're creating some kind of new product, we work with Ranger Moore. We did this for them too. I did the same kind of prompting for them. I said, hey, I need an image of a guy that looks like he's a ranger, but not a ranger. And he gave me a picture of a guy, you know, a ranger looking dude in a black t-shirt. I said, great. And then I took that and I went into Photoshop because we're building a new t-shirt for them, or they were building a t-shirt. So I made the t-shirt lay on top of it. And then I took that image back into Nano Banana VO3, and I said, I would like for you to animate this with the guy, rub a shirt, stand. And so it did, and that's running on socials and this, that, and the other. Because we didn't have the budget or the time to go out and actually do a photo shoot, but it was an asset that we needed for the business or for the organization. And so this lets you do that fairly easily if you prompt. Now, as you're prompting images, you're going to get images like, that's not what I'm trying to do. And what that means is you aren't quite communicating well to the AI, right? And here's a frustrating cycle you will get in. If you stay in that chat, keep trying to get the image better, it will never get better. And the reason it won't is because every time you type in something and hit enter, it goes all the way to the top, it reads everything down, and then continues. And so if you find that it has gone off, don't stay in the chat, create a new chat, start with a fresh prompt, and start new. The images, you'll get so frustrated trying to circle back to an image, and it's like, I just want that to go away, and it won't work. Start with a whole new chat, because every time you're in a chat, here's the way this works, just so you know. Every time you're in a ChatGPT and you're in a chat and you put something in and hit enter, that chat takes the context window, which is everything above it. It rereads everything in your chat and then adds the next layer of text. It reads everything. So if something up there is messing you up, just start a new chat. Copy some stuff from that one that worked, paste it in the new chat, start over. Because you'll never get out of that loop, because it's using everything in that chat as reference material for the conversation that you're in. So just start a new chat. All right? What about emails? Copyright is great as a copywriter. I used this prompt, this for us, to create an email series as part of our lead generation magnet. So I have a thing on our website that we'll actually run ads and drive people to that hop them into our email list. And that email list then runs an email series of emails that we created. But I did all of that, the ideating of what is the lead magnet, what I need, all of that was generated through these prompts. And then the emails that I ended up creating were generated out of these prompts. And then I edited them and fixed them and formatted them the way I wanted them. But here's the basic prompt. So here's the role. So you're a seasoned, I want a seasoned one, right? Expert, right? Digital marketing strategist specializing in optimizing small business websites for maximum conversions. You're an email copywriter for small business, and you're able to use psychology to improve open rates and engagement. So this is who you are. And then I said, here's what I want you to do. Here's your context. The audience is the TrackSoft email list, composed of small business owners, nonprofit executives, and marketing managers looking for actionable basic steps to improve their website performance. And the goal is to provide high-value educational content. Now, I've already, in this prompt, I've already uploaded my business values, mission values, core values. I've already uploaded my ideal customer document, and I've already uploaded my market strategy document. So that is already in this chat. My task, generate at least a list of 10 best practice items that would be perfect as a standalone topic for short weekly educational email series. Focus on basic concepts that yield maximum benefit to beginners. The topics must cover or relate to hero sections of the website, call to action best practice, on-page SEO, meta titles and descriptions, and internal linking. So that's the content, that's the task that I want to do. And here's how I want you to output these 10 ideas into 2 columns. Column 1 should be an email series topic. Column 2 should be 1 or 2 summary of that. And then when I did that, ChatGPT generated this kind of output for me. I have column 1 with the email series, so there's the topic. Column 2 is the best practice concept summary. So now I have my 10 email series topics that I'm going to use in my email series. Then I go back through the whole process again with each one. Hey, you're an expert copywriter. You understand my business. You're able to write these great, amazing headlines and taglines and copy and all this stuff. And I want you to use this one. I want you to use this topic with this summary and write me an email. Copy, edit, Google Doc. Do it again with this one and this one. Copy, edit, go all the way through. Now I have 10 emails that it has helped. This would have taken me days to work through. And I could do it in a matter of hours and have 10 really good, succinct, clear, 300-word-ish emails that will go out to somebody who will provide them with really good, tactical, educational, valuable tools that will help them with their website. Then I just go through the process of putting it in my MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever email system you use as an automation. And day 1 do this, day 2 do that, day 3 do that. And now I have a series that the first person and the 1,000th person gets the same experience. So then all I have to do is worry about putting people in the top of the funnel, and they'll get all the way through the bottom of the funnel. Does that make sense? Somebody asked about this one. I don't remember who it was. Anybody here, remember who asked me about this? All right. Real estate. How can I create real estate ad copy for my business that I can post on Facebook? All right. So I played around with this, and here's the prompt. You are an elite. See, I didn't want you just to be a good one. I want you to be the elite one, right? I'm trying to prompt this thing to think top shelf here, right? You're the Hermosi. You're the top 1% of this person. You're an elite real estate social media advertising strategist and conversion copywriter. You understand real estate psychology, Meta ad best practices, fair housing compliance, and how to list listings into scroll-stopping, lead-driving ads. You know how to do this. This is who you are. Your voice is clear, engaging, and built on performance. So that's your role. Context. I have the following property listed on MLS, and then I paste the link to that property from the MLS listing, or if it's on my website, or wherever the property happens to be. Here are the details of that property. So then I go copy, highlight, copy, all the details about that property that's on the website, copy, and paste them into this prompt. Assume the listing is real. We're not going to make this up. Write in a way that highlights the benefits over features, builds emotional desire, creates urgency without hype, and avoid any language that could violate fair housing rules and practices. So now it has the URL of the property, so we can go grab and look at stuff. It has all the descriptions of the property. So now I have given it a good large amount of context. So then here's what I tell it to do. The goal is to create a compelling ad for Facebook and Instagram for this property. So assume the listing is real, write in a way that highlights benefits over features, and avoid languages, which I just copied. I just copied that. Sorry, that's a duplicate. Here we go, format. So create X ads, 5 ads, 7 ads, 10 ads, 18 ads, 27 ads, 33 ads, I don't care how many. It's fast, it'll do it all. Create memory ads with compelling copy and connect the ads with different psychological approaches. Headlines, descriptions, and call to actions for each listed property. The ads should be in my voice and my profession. Now, I've uploaded my mission, vision, values. I've uploaded my marketing strategy. I've uploaded my ideal customer document. So it's got so now it has all of this information about the person I'm trying to target, the kind of ad I'm trying to generate, the copy I'm trying to do, right? There's a lot of context here that this thing can go. And so it goes and did it, and it generates a whole list of these things. And then I took that stuff and I just turned it into what would be potential ad that would run. Right? So I pulled the property listing, I've got the description, I've got the information that it provided, and that could generate easily 7, 8, 9, 10 different ads for the same property that you could run in a campaign and then let them run for however long they need to run, and the ones that do good, add more value to them. The ones that don't convert, turn them off, and keep the ad dollars running to the property, to the listing that's actually generating a return. And you can do that kind of thing for any business, whether you're a bookkeeping business, whether you're an ad agency, whether you're a nonprofit, whether you're a for-profit, it doesn't matter. You can do this kind of thing to generate ad copy. So we do this exercise for a lot of our clients, and we just break it up into chunks. So I want to do this whole exercise, but I'm just wanting to know about headlines. Just give me a whole bunch of headlines. I need headlines that are sticky, right? I need headlines that'll stop the scroll. Then I'll do a whole nother chat, go through the whole process again. Now I want descriptions, or because these come in different sort of things when you begin to build out your ads. Because I just want to be super focused on the part. And then we'll take all those pieces and we'll begin to match them up and build them out. Some ads work well, some ads don't work so well, but part of the process is the exploration of what's going to hit with our audience. And when we run them for several days and we find that one's not working, we turn the slider to the off position, and the ones that are working, we increase ad spend on those because those are converting, the others aren't. But this lets us create large amounts of ad ideas very quickly and efficiently that we can test. Running out of time, so it'll be quick. Does that make sense? Yes, sir.
What do you mean when you say you upload your mission statement?
So I have a PDF document. I have a PDF document that has all my mission, vision, value, core values. I have a PDF document that is my marketing strategy. I have a PDF document that is my social media. I have various PDF documents that are related to my business. And when I'm doing a ChatGPT or a Gemini, there's an upload button. There's a thing you can add attachments to it. And depending on what my prompt is, I will upload various documents to that as source material so that it knows who I am and who my business is. So that it's creating content relative to my business, not relative to the generic public. And I tell it to in the prompt, I've uploaded these documents, use these documents for reference.
So you were saying that it will learn you.
Yes.
But if you leave and come back.
So most all of these have a little bit of memory, and it's not memory in the sense we think of it. They have a file over here where they're just adding things that you do regularly. And so over time, it begins to know you because it has these things that are stored there. Whenever I start a new chat, I always upload the documents though. I don't want to assume that the memory is correct for what I'm trying to accomplish. I tell it to reference these documents for this task and this purpose. And if I'm going to do a different task, I create a different chat. So I try to keep that siloed so that things don't bleed over and start doing the wrong things and information.
Does it matter if it's a PDF or a Word?
You could, if you wanted to, you could just copy and paste it, drop it in, but then your prompt's getting super long and it becomes difficult. And so they're getting more sophisticated where you can just reference it. Like with Gemini connected to Google Drive, I don't have to upload anything. I can just click the little button that says open up my Google Drive, and I want you to use that document, that document, that document, and it'll just reference them. So they're getting a little more sophisticated with being able to manage those documents for you, but you want to give it the content. You want to focus its attention to what I want you to do. And it needs to sound like me, and it needs to write like me, not whoever else out there. And so that's why I have documents of how I write. So I have a document that's like 7 or 8 pages of just old blog posts that I've written, right? They're not new, they're old, but it shows you how I write a blog post. I've got one that's got like 7 or 8 pages, and it's just emails that I've written. Some 3 or 4 sentences, some 10 or 12, like, it's just, this is how I write an email. So that when I go in here and I say, I want you to write an email, it uses that to help make sure that it's structuring emails, using the tone of voice. The way I write emails and the vocabulary I use in an email is a little different than how I write a blog post and the vocabulary that I use on a blog post, which is different than the way I would write a market strategy and the vocabulary that I use in a market strategy, right? And so I have a document that helps the AI know, I'm writing an email, I want you to use this type of style and structure. Hey, I'm writing a blog post, I want you to use this style and structure. Right? And I don't have to create them, I just have them. I just link through them to throw them in there. Yeah?
You know, I only use the free ChatGPT. So my question would be, one, how much functionality are you losing from the free one versus the paid subscriptions? And two, if you're going to do a paid subscription, how do you know which one to engage with?
Great question. I have used the paid version for a long time. So I'm not exactly sure what your limits are on the free versus paid right now. But here's the calculation I did. This is the single calculation I did, and I started paying for it ever since. I realized it took me an hour to write a blog post instead of 3 days. I normally would spend over those 3-day periods about 8 to 10 hours to write a blog post. I invoice bill out at $150 an hour. That alone saved me a large amount of my time, well worth $20 a month. It cost me $20 a month, and I just saved 7 hours at $150 an hour. That math worked. I'll do that. I'll trade you $1,000, $20 for thousands of dollars every day. So I have a paid subscription to Gemini. I have a paid subscription to ChatGPT. I have a pro subscription to Claude. I pay for all of them, because it saves me huge amounts of time. With the free version, you're limited with you get the older models, which is fine, they're good. You get limited number of how many times you can interact with it. It just sort of throttles you. The benefit of AI is time saving. If it saves me an hour and I've billed somebody out $100, $200, $300 an hour, $20 to save $300, I'll do that all day long. So it's a no-brainer to me. From a business perspective, it was a no-brainer. Matter of fact, I pay for everybody in my company to have their own paid version because it's $20 a month. It's a no-brainer. It saves them, and I write it off. It saves them time. It saves me time that I can go do other things that only I can do. There are certain parts of the business that only you can do. And if I can spend more time with clients and relationship development and having conversations with you and spend 20 minutes over here doing stuff that AI can help me with, I'll trade that $20 a month all day long.
Would you recommend starting with ChatGPT
3 months ago, I would have said yes, but right now, Gemini is pretty impressive. I have them both.
So what platforms would you are superior to other ones that you would?
Right now, today, now tomorrow it could change. Right now, Gemini is the best model on the market for generative AI stuff. Claude is the best model on the market for coding. OpenAI's ChatGPT is the best market for like everything. Like it does a little bit of this, that, and the other. I have found personally, Gemini is better at images, better at video, and it's a better copywriter. Personally. Now I use them both, and I will use them against one another. I'll go into ChatGPT and I'll tell ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, you are a professional prompt engineer, and I need you to use this framework, the RCFT framework, and I'm trying to accomplish the following thing, and I tell it what I'm trying to do, and I tell it, create for me a prompt, a super prompt. And man, it'll go, I copy that prompt and I go over to Gemini, and I paste that prompt into Gemini, and I connect all of my stuff to it, and I let Gemini actually do the work. So I use them against one another. So for me, from a business perspective, $20 a month is a no-brainer. For what I get out of it, I'm in it every day, all the time. If I'm sitting here, like on your phone, if you have the app on your phone, when you open up, there's a little button on it that'll open up like a little interface. It's a white screen. It's got this little blue-looking thing on it, and you can talk to it. And I did this the other day. I did this the other day driving home. I was driving home. I just turned that on, and I said, okay, I'm processing this, and I just talked out what I was processing for my work that day. I'm thinking about this. We're looking at a strategy. I'm trying to think about what's the best approach to go from here to here. AI is impacting. We're a digital marketing agency. The things that you used to pay a digital marketing agency thousands of dollars to do, AI will do in 20 minutes. That's undermining our business. What is our business model moving forward as AI, as we teach you how to use AI to not use us anymore, right? This is a problem. So this is an existential crisis for a marketing agency, and yet I'm teaching you how to use it. So when I'm processing, and I just open up ChatGPT and I just begin to ramble. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to think through this. Here's what I want to do. Here's how I'm trying to approach. I talked for like 12 or 15 minutes, and then I said at the end of it, I would like for you to take all of this that I've talked to you about, process it through, find the patterns, organize it into a systematic way so that I could process through this later. And it said, okay. The next day, I had this, all that stuff I had talked about, I now had in a structured sort of thing that I could go back to and interact with. So that goes to the idea of using it as a thinking partner. Yes, ma'am?
Very simple.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in Gemini.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you told me about everything, which I love, how you broke everything down. I'm doing an email.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm going to save it in Word.
Uh-huh.
So when I put it in the email, or I saved it in Word, why do it show that I have errors in the language?
Yeah.
They don't agree with each other.
Sure.
So which one should I trust?
The human.
Okay.
Always trust the human. Anytime you create something, an email, put it in your email, whatever, and don't hit send. Never copy, paste, send. Copy, edit. I wouldn't say that. Delete. I'll word it this way. I'm not even going to say that. Delete that line. Like, never copy, paste, send. Never copy, paste, publish. It's copy, paste, edit. Don't remove the human element from the AI tool. Otherwise, it will sound like an AI bot and it won't be you. It is a tool that you can use to maximize your time, effort, and energy, not to replace you.